private practitioner, while Attorney Inton used to be the head of the LTFRB. Okay, and consider ko kayo ng Makati, di ba? Ako ng Quezon City lagi. Okay. And this is Romy, of one of the members of the Civil Society Trans Working Group. They describe themselves as members of the TWG na outside the Colombo daw. So let's ask him about that later. But to begin with, the group the group is here. Attorney Porton and Attorney Inton are here because on December 26th this year, this month, the DTOR, the Department of Transportation plans to extend the permit that allows ANCAS to have a pilot test in certain areas of Metro Manila. And it seems that the extension of possibly another 6 months is going to happen. So there are many groups that are questioning this, while there are also many groups that are for this. So to begin with, let us hear from Attorney Inton.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Good morning po sa inyo lahat, members of the media, the panelists. The Lawyers for Commuter Safety and Protection, represented by Attorney Raymond Fortun, filed a case petition for injunction with prayer for a temporary restraining order with the Regional Trial Court of Quezon City to enjoin 5, we call them fly-by-night motorcycle taxi, who are operating outside the pilot run mandated by the DOTR and Congress. Ngayon, about the case, we will request Attorney Fortun to brief us of the status of the case. But right now, it has been raffled to branch RTC branch 85 of Quezon City. So what is the case all about? I will request Attorney Fortun to explain that. Pero what is the reason why we filed? Kasi ganito po yan, no? Probably almost a year and a half. You know very well that there is a clamor for motorcycle taxis, or what we call app-based motorcycle for hire, because of the traffic, because of the let's say the lack of transportation options for commuters. Maraming naging pasahero itong mode of transportation ito. In the province, they call it haban-haban, but that is different. Yung haban-haban, iba yan. Although there are also haban-haban in Metro Manila, but our point here of discussion is what we call the app-based motorcycle for hire. Yung gumagamit tayo ng smartphone to book our ride. So during that time, isa lang ang nag-ooperate na app-based motorcycle for hire, and that is ANCAS. Wala nang iba during that time. So during that time then, there is a question raised by government regulators, no, that based on the existing law and department order of regulatory agencies, motorcycles cannot be or should not be for hire vehicles. Pero yan, no, because of our relentless lobby, including other groups in Congress, and also to the government agency, government regulators, nagkaroon ng pilot run. And yung nagkaroon ng pilot run, which will expire this month, December 26 yata, but according to newspaper reports, there is already an announcement from LTFRB that there will be an extension. Pero mamaya na natin pag-usapan yan. So, during that time, ang pumasok o nakapasok dun sa pilot run ay angkas. No? Because angkas lang ang app-based nun na motorcycle van na nagbibigay sa servisyo. Had there were probably others during that time, kung meron pa nun dati, I think there will be no question na paloob rin to sa pilot testing. Kung meron pa doon, kaya lang isa lang noon. Kaya tuloy sa ngayon, isa lang. Ngayon, dahil siguro sa dami ng pasahero, naging successful na marami nang sumusulpot na iba. And there are 5 respondents na mga respondents sa kaso final na, but sabi nila marami pa daw iba na they are operating outside the pilot run. So if you are operating outside the pilot run, kolorum ka. Bakit? Wala kang go signal ng pamahalaan na magservisyo. But what is happening right now, etong mga to are already booking rides. So that is dangerous because it will raise question of safety of passengers and a lot more. Ngayon, ako, mamaya siguro other panelists will explain yung mga kasama namin sa PWG. I could perhaps speak on behalf of LCSP na kami, member ng technical working group, pero hindi kami nakakonsulta dito sa mga bagay na to, lalo na yung pagkuha ng bagong player. Wala kaming konsultasyon dyan. Kaya sinasabi nga namin, bakit hindi nyo kami kinonsulta dyan? Anong rason? So, yan yung mga. So, there will be question and answer part naman. I will turn over the mic to Attorney Fortune to explain the legal side of the issue, especially now that there is a pronouncement from LTFRB that the pilot run will eventually be extended. Attorney Fortune.
Before I forget, how long is
the original period of time is 6 months, so ang extension yata nila 6 months.
Okay, good morning. The lawyers for commuter safety and protection was able to observe the proliferation of app-based motorcycle taxis. We were able to zero in on the activities of 5 corporations. The 5 corporations are We Move Things Philippines Incorporated, Habal Rides Corporation, iSabay 24/7, Sampadala Corporation, and Transerve Corporation. Ito pong 5 korporasyon po na ito ay operating as far as we are concerned. Meaning that meron po silang mga posts dun sa kanilang mga Facebook pages that they are already in the process of hiring mga motorcycle riders, that there is an ongoing training program for them. Some of them actually are already booking. Now, the problem with that is that obviously, merong threat. There's a threat that they are now offering their services to the public. And wala kami pakialam sa angkas dito. No? Ang concern ng LCSP is that since these 5 are not being regulated and monitored by the members of the technical working group, meaning, ultimong sino-sino ba yung mga drivers na hina-hire nyo? Ano ba ang speed limits na nilalagay nyo? Gaano ba yung displacement ng mga motorcycles? No? Because the agreement with the TWG is that there has to be certain limitations and rules. No? Because if you're going to have a pilot program, you have to have certain standards. Standards about conduct ng mga drivers. Standards about feedback mechanisms in case hindi maganda yung experience ng mga commuters. I mean, this is very, very important. Now, if these 5 are outside of that, then you now have a threat on the riding public, which LCSP is representing and is yung supporting. No? So that's the reason why, since these 5 are, for our all intents and purposes, already operating as defined by law, we need to put a stop to that. No? And that's the purpose for the injunction. An injunction is a petition that you file in court in order to restrain or enjoin certain people from either doing, continue to do, or to threaten to do a particular act. Now, the reason why we are asking for a temporary restraining order is that there is a grave and irreparable damage to the riding public as well as to the pilot program itself. Because we believe that just a single accident, which might and most likely will occur because of the non-regulation of these 5 respondents, can actually imperil the entire pilot program. Let us all face it, no? There are a number of places, even inside Metro Manila, that is not covered by the mass transport system. Walang mga jeep, walang mga bus. And nagkakaproblema talaga yung mga basic commuters, no? People who do not have their own cars. So that's why pumasok itong mga motorized taxis to fill in that gap. Mas lalo na sa probinsya, where talagang walang mga taxis, walang mga buses. The only mode of transportation are really just motorized yung mga motorcycles. Now, maganda nga yan kung if everybody is going to be covered by a law. But there is no law with regard to motorcycle taxis. That's why at this stage, all of the stakeholders in the TWG, meaning the consumer groups, LTO, LTFRB, MMDA, CHPG, all of these people should actually be concerned as well as have a voice in setting up the reasonable standards for purposes of passing a law which will now regulate motorized motorcycle taxis. The problem we have is that hindi pa nga nagagawa yung batas, meron ng mga sumisingit. Meron ng mga tao na hindi na sumusunod sa batas, kung tutusin. And that is what LCSP is concerned about. And recently is that it appears that there is a need for an extension, which has not been explained also to the other stakeholders. Magsasalita po yung mga iba. It has not been explained why there is a need for an extension. I mean, in the first place, I thought the 6-month period would be a sufficient period to determine whether or not it is viable to have motorcycle taxis in the Philippines and what kind of law requirements, conditions, minimum, no? Yung ultimong, ilang bang mga drivers, may training ba yan? Gaano katagal yung training? May psychological test ba yan? May feedback mechanism ba? How about insurance? Yun yung mga issues na ganon, dapat should have been resolved already within the 6-month period. Why would now there be a need for an extension? The one thing that comes to my mind now being a lawyer is, di ba yung, for example, if you have a probationary employee, what is the period for probationary employment? 6 months, right? During the 6-month period, there are supposed to be standards in order for a person to be regularized. That is the rule, right? And that employee must be duly notified about the minimum standards in order to become a permanent employee. Now, if for some reason the employer could not make a decision whether to regularize or not, what happens? Nagkakaroon ng extension. Hindi yun ang yun ang sistema. Or, kini-terminate. We are actually here where sinasabi na yung technical working group daw has made the decision to extend yung pilot program. Now, we'd like also to know why is it that it is being extended? Kulang ba yung data na natanggap in order for there to be a report which can be the basis for the passage of a law to regulate motorcycle taxis? And then now, we also heard that there are 2 new players that are being considered. Parang ano yan eh, parang,
Kasi siya yung remote.
sige, if we are to analogize, parang yung isang empleyado, di ba, gusto ngayong ma-hire at maging permanente. Tapos ngayon, yung whether or not that employee is going to be permanent is now going to be dependent on the actions of two others. Di ba parang, oh, teka, hindi ba dapat you evaluate permanency ng tao na yon, meaning yung mismo na nandoon at ini-evaluate, not to get somebody else. No? Kasi if that is the case, then actually, sa totoo lang, edi meron na palang basihan. No? So why is it that instead of allowing two new players to be included in an extension of the pilot program, why don't you just pass the law right now on the basis of the standards that have already been set and agreed upon, and now everybody can now be subjected to the same standards under a governing law. Right now, ngayon, walang law eh. So ano bang standards ang pinag-uusapan natin? Yung ba yung standards na binibigay dun sa nauna, yung ini-evaluate? Eh, dun pa lamang, medyo mahihirapan na sila eh. Kasi alam naman natin na yung nauna, medyo lamang na eh in terms of experience eh, di ba? Tapos papapasukin natin yung dalawa na absolutely no experience. Maapektuhan yung entire pilot program to the prejudice of the consumers. Dadating yung point na yun eh, no, na hindi kasi ang dami yung mga aksidente, so siguro na lang eh, tanggalin na lang natin yung motorcycle taxis na yan. We are being very unfair not only more than anything, we are being very unfair to the consumers who might be affected by the results of trying to include new players who have absolutely no track record when it comes to operating a motorcycle taxi system that's app-based. Thank you. That is all. That is the reason why we are filing this case. We hope that the hearing for a temporary restraining order will be scheduled by the RTC, to whom the case has been raffled, and that hopefully that when the TRO hearing is set and arguments are heard, that the court will consider a 20-day temporary restraining order to prevent these 5 respondents from operating during the pendency of our application for a writ of preliminary injunction. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Fortune.